Welcome back to the Behavior Code. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. And today we're diving into something I think pretty much everyone listening has felt at some point.
Oh, yeah, it's that feeling, usually when you're in your 20s or 30s, where you just stop. You look around at your life and you think, wait, is this it? Am I doing this right? Why does everyone else seem to have it all figured out?
Exactly. The feeling of being completely and totally lost. You might have a good job, you might be in a relationship, but there's this nagging sense that you're off course or that you don't even know where the course is,
Or that you missed a memo. Like, was there a class in college on how to be an adult that I just skipped?
right? And we want to start this episode by just saying if you feel that way, it is completely 100% normal.
It's more than normal. It's almost a rite of passage. These decades are defined by huge transitions. You're moving from a very structured life, school, college, to this wide open, unstructured world. It's jarring.
It really is. And the feeling of being lost isn't a sign that you failed. It's actually a sign that you're paying attention. You're asking the big questions. And today, we're going to unpack exactly why this feeling is so common and what you can actually do about it. It really is. There's even a term for it, quarter-life crisis. Studies have shown that something like 86% of millennials have felt overwhelmed and anxious about their life and career choices. It's not a niche problem. It's the dominant experience for our generation. And it's a shock to the system, because for 20 plus years, life has been a series of clear, predictable steps. Go to school, then college, take these classes, get these grades, get into this college. Each stage has a pre-written rulebook. Then you graduate, and suddenly the rulebook is just gone. Someone hands you a blank sheet of paper and says, okay, go. It's terrifying. I remember when I left college, I had this perfectly linear plan in my head. I'd get this entry-level job, get promoted in 2 years, then promoted again in 3. By 30, I thought I'd be a manager, have a mortgage, the whole deal. That structure is like a container. It holds you. School gives you a clear syllabus, a clear path to graduation. There are right answers and wrong answers. Then suddenly, that container is gone, and you're just floating. The path isn't just unstructured, it's invisible.
Absolutely. It's this quiet hum of anxiety beneath the surface. You're going through the motions, you go to work, you meet friends, you pay your bills, but there's a persistent feeling that you're not where you're supposed to be. And the scariest part is, you have no idea where supposed to be even is. So let's start with what I think is the root cause for so many people. I call it the expectation versus reality problem.
Yeah, the great mismatch.
Exactly. Society, our parents, movies, everything hands us this, invisible checklist for adulthood.
Oh, for sure. Graduate college, get a good career track job, get married by 28, buy a house by 30, have 2.5 kids, the whole script.
Right. And when our real, messy, complicated lives don't match that neat little timeline, we feel like we're behind. We feel like we've done something wrong. And that script is so powerful because it's not just one thing. It's woven into the fabric of everything around us. It's in the questions your relatives ask at holiday dinners. Are you seeing someone? When are you getting a real job? It's in the movies we watch, where the protagonist has their life crisis and figures it all out in a tidy 90 minutes.
And then you pour the gasoline of social media on top of that fire.
Yes, it's the checklist made visible. Every time you open Instagram or LinkedIn, you're seeing someone else checking a box. An engagement announcement. A thrilled to announce my new role post. Keys to a new apartment.
It's everyone else's highlight reel against your behind-the-scenes footage, and of course, your reality can't compete with their curated perfection. It creates this constant low-grade anxiety and this relentless habit of comparison.
Totally. You end up measuring your own progress against a completely fictional standard, which is a game you can never, ever win. And it makes you feel like you're falling behind, even if you're actually making amazing progress on your own path.
Which actually brings up another huge factor here, the sheer number of paths available to us now.
Yes, the paradox of choice. Let's talk about that.
Think about our grandparents' generation. The options were limited. You probably lived in the town you were born in. You had maybe a handful of career paths available to you. You married someone you grew up with.
Right, the path was pretty much laid out. There was comfort in that lack of choice, in a way.
Now you can be a digital nomad in Bali, a software engineer in San Francisco, an artist in a van, a corporate lawyer in New York. You can work remotely for a company in another continent. The number of choices is effectively infinite.
And while that sounds amazing, and it is a privilege, it can be completely paralyzing. It's like standing in a restaurant with a 40-page menu. You get so overwhelmed trying to find the perfect option that you can't make any decision at all.
That's it exactly. Psychologists call it analysis paralysis. The fear of making the wrong choice from this vast sea of options keeps you stuck. And being stuck feels a lot like being lost.
You start to think, what if I pick this career and it's the wrong one? What if I move to this city and I hate it? The stakes feel so high for every single decision.
Yeah, you're searching for a perfect risk-free path that, well, it just doesn't exist. So instead of moving forward, you just stay put, feeling more and more lost as time goes by.
And I think this all feeds into what is really the central task of your 20s and 30s, figuring out who you actually are. It's a full-blown identity crisis phase.
I like to frame it this way. Your 20s are for exploration. It's the decade of, data collection.
Ooh, I like that. Data collection.
Yeah, you're trying things out. You take a job and learn you hate working in a cubicle. You date someone and learn what you absolutely don't want in a partner. You move to a new city and learn you need to be closer to nature. It's all just gathering information about yourself.
It's messy, and it's supposed to be. You're not the same person you were at 18, and you're not supposed to be. This is the time when the identity that was maybe handed to you by your family or your community starts to crack, and you have to build your own.
Exactly. And then the 30s, I think, become more about alignment and correction. You take all that data you collected in your 20s and you start making more intentional choices.
Yeah, you start to course correct. You might leave a career you chose at 22 for something that feels more authentic. You might end a long-term relationship that isn't truly right. It's not a regression, it's a recalibration based on who you've become.
But in the middle of that process, it feels like chaos. It feels like you're lost. But really, you're just in the workshop, rebuilding. Changing careers, relationships, and major life goals during this time isn't a sign of instability, it's a sign of growth.
And of course, while you're going through this very personal, often painful rebuilding process, it's so easy to fall into the comparison trap. We touched on that with social media, but it goes deeper.
It's your friends, your family, your coworkers.
Yeah, you go to a friend's wedding and you're happy for them, but a little voice in your head asks, why am I still single? Or a coworker gets a promotion and you wonder, why am I still in the same role? Am I not working hard enough?
It's this constant subconscious measuring stick. And it's so destructive because everyone's timeline is different. It's not a race.
It's really not. I love the metaphor that we're all in different seasons of life at the same time. Your friend might be in their harvest season, reaping the rewards of things they planted years ago. You might be in winter, a quiet period of rest and reflection. Or you could be in spring, just starting to plant new seeds without any idea what will grow.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Comparing your spring to their autumn is pointless. They're just different stages of a different journey. Trusting your own timing is one of the hardest but most important skills you can learn in these decades.
It really is, which leads us to maybe the biggest secret of all, the hidden truth that nobody really talks about.
The hidden handshake of adulthood?
Pretty much. And it's this: almost everybody is pretending.
Yes, 100%. The person with the impressive job title who seems so confident in meetings, they go home and worry if they're an imposter.
The couple that posts those perfect smiling photos, they argue about finances and whose turn it is to do the dishes just like everyone else. Everyone has doubts. Everyone feels lost sometimes. They just don't post it on social media.
I once had a conversation with a mentor of mine, a guy who was incredibly successful, a leader in his field. And I confessed that I felt totally lost. And he just laughed. He said, Gabriel, I'm 55 years old and I still wake up some mornings with no idea what I'm doing.
Wow, that's so freeing to hear, isn't it?
It was a huge relief. It made me realize that this feeling doesn't necessarily go away. We just get better at navigating it. We get more comfortable with uncertainty. The goal isn't to never feel lost again. It's to learn how to find your way back to the path more quickly.
I love that. So, knowing all this, knowing it's normal, that there are too many choices, that everyone is faking it, what do we do? How do we start to actually find some direction when we're in that fog?
Okay, so let's get practical. The first and I think most powerful shift is to focus on building skills, not chasing job titles.
This is such a good one. Explain what you mean by that.
Okay, so instead of saying, I want to be a project manager, which is a fixed title, you say, I want to get really good at public speaking, team organization, and budget management.
Okay, so you're focusing on the verbs, not the nouns, the actions, not the labels.
Exactly, because skills are portable, they're assets you carry with you. A job title can disappear overnight. But if you're a great writer, a great coder, or a great communicator, you can apply that skill to 100 different jobs or even start your own business. It gives you flexibility and power.
That's huge. Another piece of advice I love is to focus on building a life, not just a career.
Right. Your job is what you do, not who you are.
When you feel lost professionally, it's easy to let that feeling bleed into every corner of your existence. But you can find a huge sense of direction and purpose outside of your 9 to 5. Improve your health, go to the gym, learn to cook.
Invest in your relationships, nurture your friendships, call your family.
Stabilize your finances. Make a budget, start a small savings plan. These things, health, relationships, money, or the pillars of a stable life. When those are strong, you have a much more solid foundation to figure out the career stuff.
And finally, and this is the hardest one, take action over overthinking.
Bias toward action, yes.
You cannot think your way out of feeling lost. You can't sit in a room and journal your way to a perfect life plan. Clarity comes from trying things.
Take that online class, go to that networking event, start that small side project you've been thinking about, volunteer somewhere for a weekend. The smaller the action, the better, because it's less intimidating.
You're just gathering data points. You might find out you hate it, and that's great. Now you know. Or you might find a little spark of interest, and you can take another small step in that direction. Action creates momentum, and momentum is the antidote to feeling stuck.
Which brings us to our closing message for today. If you are in your 20s or 30s and you feel lost, please hear this. You are not failing.
Not at all. Feeling lost is a sign that you have outgrown your old map. It's a sign that you are ready for a new chapter. It's a symptom of growth and growth is always uncomfortable.
The confusion you feel is just the space between who you were and who you are becoming. Be patient with yourself in that space.
And remember that clarity isn't a destination you arrive at one day. It's not a lightning bolt of insight. Clarity is something you build, one small intentional action at a time.
Stop trying to figure it all out and just take the next right step, however small. You'll be amazed at where it takes you. That's all the time we have for this week on the Behavior Code.
Thanks for tuning in. Be kind to yourself, and we'll see you next time.